This is Ryu Hayabusa. He is the main character of the Ninja Gaiden saga. That's correct, this ridiculously difficult game because of its enemies that appears more often than ads on your phone. Ryu, I'm still talking about this one, is also a character from the Dead or Alive saga. But here the main character is this girl, Kazumi, who also is a ninja. What does this have to do with this video? DoA is famous for two things: ninjas and characters with more detailed physics than any other franchise. Were you expecting a different shock? Here, have another one then. Limb-breaking attacks and redecorating the stage with your opponent's body. Welcome to a half-decent guide. I'm FlameMDQ, and today make its way to the channel the 3D fighting game that if Koei Tech not sat down to finish, will quietly be at the EVO. Will it, Mr. Wizard? We are sure that DoA meets the core values of the FGC. This is one of those games where I recommend you the tutorial because it is one of the most complete of the market. So the guy will follow the order of the tutorial for you to keep a recap with your products. Choose your favorite outfit and let's get started. In this game we will use 3 buttons. No, I'm not kidding, there are only 3 buttons. Well, and another 4 if we count all the button combination, making a total of 7. First, we have the hold button, which is used to block. But no, we can still block by moving backwards, because we are not a certain game that needed 9 games to back to 2D. Moreover, literally, if we walk backwards, we will start blocking while walking very slowly. And of course, walk, dash, and run. Then we have punches and kicks. Punches tend to be faster, but of lower range, and susceptible to nullifying moves, while kicks tend to be slower, but of course of greater distance. As in 2D games, we have low blows, medium, and instead of overheads, they are high. How does the defense work here? This is the 3D defense system, shared with the other most popular 3D game. Low hits are blocked only by crouching. You usually notice when someone is aiming low, so it's very instinctive to stop them. Medium hits are blocked standing only. Many hits are really purely mediums, some more obvious than others. But to identify the more confusing ones, if something should be an overhead or an anti-air, that is a medium. High hits go to the head and are the rare ones. They tend to be the fastest and most damaging, and they're blocked standing up. But if we duck, they will literally pass overhead. You can go to training to confirm where each hit goes. But if you wonder what is command training, here you can review in order all the possible movements of the character. Very useful to know what a character does. Moving on. The grabs or throws are done with the block button and punch simultaneously. A throw for shortcut, they are on the bottom button and the icon is a blue T. Throws. Pressing throw is an universal throw. As in traditional fighting game, you can escape if you calculate it correctly, and press throw simultaneously as well. The basic thing is that you can do throws standing, and if your opponent crouches, you have to do it crouching because the same thing will happen as with high strikes. But there are also backward, forward, command grabs, chains of command grabs, in the air, against the ground, the wall, and even against the ceiling. That's right, Dead or Alive is extraordinarily fond of using the terrain to break every bone in the opponent's limb, even to use them as part of a combo. Although there is one particularity that also makes DoA 6 stand out a lot, and that is the inside joke that says, a DoA Pro can win without throwing a punch. And that's because of holds, also called parries. This is a little harder to memorize, but is universal. With the hold button, which is the whole reason there is a separate block button in this game, we can catch enemy punches and kick if we predict them correctly. If a low hit comes, it's diagonal, down, back and hold. And if a high or jumping strike comes in, it's diagonal, back and hold. Here it gets a little more difficult. Back and hold are medium punches only, and forward and hold is medium kicks. Did you notice this T at the top of the middle? 4 ways holds? Well, those are the 4 holds. You're welcome. And if you're wondering what a 3-way holds will be, is that the middle holds become universal, regardless of punch or kick. Memorizing those 4 will be enough to start with. Obviously the middle ones are the most confusing, but when you play against a human being you will need to know that they exist. Also, certain characters can turn the holds into combo rules. They do less damage than simply breaking an arm, yep, but they will leave the opponent open to confirm, and that is more damage.
Predictable!
From this point, let's make an extremely important note that is the absolute basis of this game, the rock, paper, scissors system. This is literally speaking. Punches and kicks lose against blocking, of course, but holds are blocking, so cow and attack with a hold is the idea. And if the catch occurs at the very last instant, the hold will, in green words, add a plus symbol, and yes, more damage. But let's say we're getting holded. In read. Then a grab is used. If the opponent attempts a hold and is caught with a grab, next to the blue announcement, a plus symbol will also be added. Yes, more damage. Finally, in the case of grabs, a target that is attacking cannot be grabbed. Grabs have 0 priority against hits, and yes, they will qualify as a stun. Now, what is a stun? Unlike a more traditional fighting game, and probably retro, here's the basis of combos. With certain hits, nothing happens, although when a stun occurs, the character is unable to block. But they can still attempt a hold. Thus, while the character is on the ground, they can practically try to escape from a combo if he gets a correct read and reaction. Suppose we start a combo, like this. This section represents the maximum damage we can cause in a combo. But if we repeat the same type of attack, we will literally cancel the combo. Now, if we are the ones who are receiving the attack and we are knocked down, we have several options to get up. If we press hold after a grab or a knockdown, it will be a quick recovery. But if not, we will have options from the ground. On the spot, backwards, forwards, sideways, mid kicks, and low kicks. In case it's not obvious, mid and low kicks do qualify as kicks, so they are susceptible to holds. But what's not so obvious is that they have complete invincibility. Ah yes, it's about time to talk about the 3D environment. Well, this is a 3D game, so we can move sideways. Gently press up or down to move. You can hold down as if it were backwards or forwards, but time to add an extra button to the arsenal, the special button. Symbolized with an S, and the hotkey is all with 3 buttons simultaneously. If we press it when doing up or down, we will take a side step, which is faster and more spaced out than regular walking. And since I mentioned the special button, what the heck is that bar below the life bar? Well, it's our break bar. It's divided into 4 blocks. It has 3 uses, so don't get too complicated. The first one, consuming 1 block the instant we make a side step. We press again to push the opponent. It is very fast and will push the opponent away, essential to make distance. Consuming 2 bars, we can perform a special hold, doing backwards and special. This will stop any attack, not grabs, for practical purposes. It is in itself the panic button. Finally, by consuming the 4 bars, we can spend the bar to cause massive damage, but with a trick. If we press the special button 4 times in a combo, the last hit will execute a special animation with high damage. If we do forward and special, it will automatically be the last hit. It will also be able to ignore medium and high punches. But the trick really is that we can not do it. If we press hold before the break hit animation starts, we will cancel that hit. Okay, why would we do that? It gives us a chance to reset combos and create even longer combos. But let's continue on. What is a fatal stun? Fatal stun occurs in specific attack or moments. When doing so, this yellow indicator with sun alert will appear. It will drastically increase our meter, and above all things, you cannot try anything to run away. It is the most powerful combo starter of all. And to close the combo, there is nothing better than a close hit, usually doing 2 times forward or punch or kick. But this doesn't end. If the opponent doesn't make up their man on the ground, we can continue. Down key to step on it, and up punch and kick to jump on it. While we are with the punch and kick, you can do a certain specific attack with those 2 buttons together in some direction. And in some characters, even special moves. Although if we use block and kick, we will do generate heavier hits. Again, check the command list to see how your character works. Finally, let's cover the stances and the combo formula. Well, sort of. Although each attack with a different direction is different. Okay, but some of them will leave our character in a special stance, and that will allow us to access to new attacks. The idea is to perform a stun and get the opponent off the ground for combos, or a series of ground strikes that fail to be stopped. Some stances only last an instant and are a moment in which we will have to execute the movement, but nothing that you can figure it out with a little practice. I said I was going to finish, but I just noticed that I forgot a button. And the most important of all, the taunt, which also has variants according to its directions. Thank you very much for watching this video, but thank you even more for giving Dead or Alive 6 a chance among your games. I hope this guide has covered everything you need to know about the game. And remember that DoA has a free version of 4 characters that will serve you to try your luck in 3D games. Subscribe for more fighting games content and stay tuned for the next half-decent guide. And have a better day than Brad Wong.